Hello everyone, today I'll be showing you how to create audio-reactive reaction diffusion effects. While many creators has already explored this topic, I find myself didn't really using this effect that much, mainly because visually speaking, the pattern is just not that satisfying. So today I'll be showing you a few different ways to make it more appealing and then make it audio-reactive. Alright, let's dive into the network. To start, we will set up a basic reactive diffusion network. And this network is inspired by Noon's image, who make fast and awesome tutorial. I will link his video down below, you can check him out. For your reference here, reaction diffusion is a simulation of how chemicals spread out and interact over time. It's a pattern you can find in nature. To replicate that in TouchDesigner, the key operators we needed are noise, blur, sharpen, and feedback loop. You can think the noise or the base texture as our chemicals, and you achieve the spread out through the blur and achieve the interact through sharpen. Hopefully in this way you understand the network better. So we first need a noise as the base, and then we need a feedback loop. Add a feedback and then add a blur. And then we need the sharpen. For the sharpen, you can find it under the image filters, sharpen, connect with our blur, and add a null. And now we want to chop the reference of the null to our feedback, target top. And then change the sharpen amount to 1. And as you can see, it's already give you the reactive diffusion pattern. To make it more interesting, you can change the noise here to get different patterns, and first we will make it quickly to view. We add a keyboard in, connect it to a null so that we can quickly reset the feedback as we go. I will open this. So if we change the period, we get a different type of pattern. The first effect we're gonna make together is called moiré effect or moiré pattern. Moiré pattern is an optical illusion, happens when two similar patterns overlap each other. Usually works best for fine grid or lines that are slightly misaligned. So I was thinking reaction diffusion actually very suitable for moiré effect. We will connect our null to the transform, add another transform. This will be my first image and this is our second one. Composite together. In the composite here, I want to choose minimum. And then we animate our first image. And we need LFO, connect to a mask to change the range and connect to a null. For the LFO, I'm selecting a triangle and change the range from -1 to -0.1 to 0.1. And we'll chop the reference to transform here and translate. And you can see we already get these effects, which is too fast. We're gonna slow down the frequency, and then we also gonna enlarge our image. So you already see this pattern moving. And then to add more dynamics, we're gonna add a transform to our feedback loop. And we're gonna scale our image slightly so that it's expanding towards us. And then rotation, I'm gonna change to 0.1, -0.1 or 0.1. And I want to change the noise. And the blur here, I'm gonna change it to lower. So the lower blur will give you the more thinner line. The higher it goes, it gives you more of the thick lines. Okay, you can play around with this to see which one works best for you. So this is our first visual, and then the second one, we want to use this pattern as an overlay to our image. You can use as a background color. So for example, we have a picture here and we want to composite on top of our image. So let's take for example this one and then add as a overlay. I will change it to maximum And the effects will change based on also the resolution of regular image. So we're gonna put pixel formats 32-bit flow mono, and then a composite over here. And you can also changing the noise harmonious to be small ones like this. Okay, a little bit too much stuff here. Let's change the third one. The third thing we can do, we want to add a lookup to change the color, and we need another noise, add the displays, and connect two of our noise to the displays. We can turn off the monochrome and just change different values of colors of your choice. So for example, this one I connected to Lookup, and I get a different color texture and play around to see which one you like best.
A few moments later.
Alright, I'll keep it red. For example, you can also connect it to this one, and then you get a different pattern. You can be very creative here on how you want to work with these filters. That's the 3 ways using the reactive diffusion pattern. You can change the noise here, different noise here, and get interesting results. Alright, let's continue making it audio-reactive. You can add your audio file and your media of choice. Here I'm using Running from Helado Negro, and this is the cover of his album. This is How You Smell, really beautiful one. And then we add our audio file to audio analysis. Grab it from the palette under the tools and connect our song to audio analysis and connect to a select and connect it to a mesh. And then now I'm using the high and also the snare and add to an info. For the info, you can find the file length here and change to here. Then we add a device out. Okay, I'll keep it very minimum. The audio-reactive I'm gonna show you now will based on the cover of this album, and the Reaction-diffusion will work as a texture on top of this image and react with the beat, with the snare. Okay, alright. Instead of noise, I'm using the picture as the base and then connect it to a mono. The same creating the Reaction-diffusion network. If you remember, we first need to add a feedback, connect it to a blur, connect it to a sharpen, and then add a null. Chop the null to feedback, change the sharpen to 1. We again add a keyboard in, change the key to 2, and chop the reference to reset. Now you don't see anything. It's because we need to animate this. And we add a transform and change the rotation to 0.1, so you can already see these effects. And we want to composite on top of our original image. For the operation, we choose minimum. And then how to make it auto-reactive. Now I notice when I press the key 2, I can initiate the Reaction-diffusion. And instead of using the key to drive it, how about using the snare to drive it? So we chop the reference to the reset here with our snare. So as you can see, our visual already changing based on the beat. Another thing I want to change is I want to turn the rotation to the other side so it will sync with the movement of our image. You can also change the blur here to get different blur, and also you can add a lens distort and change the again based on what you want are working with, you may want to have this effect. Yeah, that's basically all of it. That's the end of this tutorial. Hope you enjoy it and have fun making your own project. See you next time.